Hi guys, welcome back to TOEFL with Juva. In this lesson, I will talk about 5 common grammar mistakes to watch out for in order to increase your TOEFL score. Let's get started. You need to have great grammar to do well on both the speaking and writing sections of the TOEFL test. It's frustrating to just think, I need to get better. Let me point out some common errors that many students make. If you pay attention to these problems, your grammar will improve for the TOEFL and also for all your communication in everyday life too. Number 1 is don't forget articles. What's an article? Those are the tiny words a, an, and the. Now, it's really easy to forget to use these words in a sentence. It's also easy to mix up which to use. The basic rules are to use a the first time you use a noun that is singular. For example, I own a dog. An is like a, but used with words that start with a vowel. That is, words that start with A, E, I, O, or U. For example, I saw an elephant. Please note that I'm keeping these sentences simple to explain the grammar. You don't use any article if the word is plural, like in the sentence I saw birds. Guys, this is the part that is easy to forget. After you talk about something for the first time, then you use the in front of it. The works with both singular and plural words. Here's the simple example. I own a dog. The dog is brown. Now, let's use articles in a complex sentence that you might use in TOEFL writing. A new law was enacted to reduce carbon emissions, but the law does not go into effect until December. In this sentence, the first idea is a new law. Carbon emissions is plural, so it doesn't need an article. The second time you talk about law, it is the law. Has this video been helpful to you so far? If so, you can help me too. Click on like to show other people how to boost their TOEFL scores. Let's move on to the next point, verb tense. If you use more than one tense in a response, you must make sure that actions that occurred in the past are in the past tense and actions in the present are in the present tense. Future actions, of course, should also be in the future. Let me give you an example to show you what I mean. Let's say you're given a TOEFL speaking question that asks whether you prefer living in the country or the city. You want to use an example about living in the country as a child. You can say, I prefer living in the city. When I was in grade school, I lived on a farm. Now I live in the city and it's much more convenient to go shopping. I think that I'll get a job in a large city after I graduate. This response uses verbs really well. Notice that prefer is in the present tense, but was in grade school and lived are in the past tense. That shows that you don't live on the farm anymore. The next part goes back to the present. Now I live and it's much more convenient. But wait, the response then describes the future. See that it says I think in the present tense because you're thinking now. However, I will get a job is in the future tense. Keeping all the ideas in the correct tense will really help your TOEFL score and make your conversations easier for other people to understand. By the way, if you want to boost your TOEFL score, click on the link in the description. You can get a lot of study materials there, including all templates for TOEFL speaking and writing, full essays, worksheets, and vocabulary sheets. Use this and boost your score. While I'm talking about verbs, I want to talk about the present tense. In the present tense, you end most verbs like they are written in the dictionary. That's called the plain form. First, look at these. I talk, you talk, they talk. It's easy to say or write all the words in this way, but you must pay attention when you are talking about one person or thing who is not yourself. I mean a subject like the professor or the pronouns he, she, or it. Verbs that go with these nouns and with an S. For example, the professor talks about 3 solutions. Many students forget the S on present tense verbs for the third person. So try to avoid this problem. Let's move on to possession. Possession refers to owning or having something. You can say and write possession in different ways. I will use simple sentences while explaining this idea. First, let's say you want to talk about a dress that Lisa owns. Of course, the dress that your sister Lisa owns does show possession, but it makes a sentence really long. I wore the dress that Lisa owns. Instead, you can use of between the object and the owner. This form is formal. Here's the new sentence. I wore the dress of Lisa. A more natural and shorter way to say a sentence like this is to use an apostrophe and letter S. Here it is. I wore Lisa's dress. You may have learned all that, but here's the point I want to make. Either an apostrophe S or of works, but don't use both. Do not say or write the dress of Lisa's. This is a very common mistake, but it is not correct English. Finally, I'd like to mention if clauses. If clauses are a great way to boost your TOEFL score because they show something that is possible but that might not happen. However, it is also easy to make mistakes using the verbs. For a regular if clause, make the if part in the present tense and make the then part in the future will form. This form shows you think there is a good chance the if will come true. Here is an example. If I pass the TOEFL test, then I will apply to the University of Oxford. Another type of if clause shows that you doubt that something will come true. In this form, the if part is in the past tense and the then part is in the conditional would or could form, like this. If I bought a horse, I would ride it to school. Guys, if clauses are awesome, but don't mix the two forms. Keep the present, future, or past conditional structure when you say or write these sentences. You probably know about the grammar I have just talked about, but even if you know the rules, it's easy to make these common mistakes if you are not careful. So keep your eyes open for them. That's it. If you can avoid these common grammar mistakes, you can boost your TOEFL score. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If you have any questions or a video wish, comment below and I would love to see you here next time. Bye bye!